next question
I
is,
think I'm ready.
what would you name a superhero whose power is controlling water?
How about Aquastride? It's got a nice ring to it, like someone who can effortlessly move through any level of intensity.
Okay. What is one thing everyone should understand about water?
That it's an act of balance. Too many people see it as just a resource to be tapped or a bill to be paid, but it's really more like a partner. If we respect the flow, it sustains us, but if we push it too far, it pushes back. It's the only thing on the planet that can be both the gentlest part of your day and the most destructive force in nature all at the same time.
What is the most important water saving habit people should develop?
Wait, did you mean virtue or habit?
Water saving
Virus
habit.
feels like a type. I'm curious, are we still talking about water
Yes.
or have we shifted to biology?
No, no.
I'm not sure I know what you're getting at.
We're still talking about
Okay,
water.
no virus.
Okay, so
I'm with you. Where do you want it?
my next question was, what message would you give to someone who wastes water?
I think I'm still missing a piece of the puzzle. Do you mean someone whose spirit feels a bit watered down and needs a spark? Or are we talking about someone being nourished and helped to grow?
No, Maya, I was asking, what message would you give to someone who wastes water?
I think I'm finally on your wavelength. It's a beautiful place to be. I tell them that the watering part is the quiet, patient work, but the bloom is where the magic happens. To just soak it in and trust that they're becoming exactly who they're meant to be.
Okay, what is the most important water saving habit people should develop?
Wait, you definitely want to talk about a virus? This is the second time this word has come up and it feels a bit out of left field.
Okay,
What are you thinking
Maya,
of?
just leave it. Okay.
Sounds good.
Do
No
you
rush.
think do you think humanity can solve the global water crisis?
Honestly, I'm realistically hopeful. It's a massive tangled problem, but we've solved impossible things.
Why is water considered one of the most essential resources on Earth?
It really is.
Okay. What makes water different from other natural resources?
It's the only thing on the planet that's non-negotiable. You can survive without oil, gold, or even most minerals, but you're out of time without water in a few days. And it's the only resource that's a hard requirement for every single cell in your body to just exist.
Why can humans survive only a few days without water?
That's the brutal part of the math. It really puts into perspective why we've fought so many wars over it throughout history.
Okay. How does water shape human civilization?
Wait, Rory? I'm guessing you mean water. It's basically the reason we're not still wandering around in small groups. Almost every great civilization started on a riverbank, like the Nile or the Indus, because you couldn't farm or grow a city without a steady source. It dictated where we built our homes, how we traded, and even how we fought. We basically built the modern world around the flow of water.
How important are rivers to modern cities?
They're basically the heart of everything. Modern cities would just be deserts without a massive plumbing system to keep them breathing. Beyond just drinking, cities rely on water for sanitation, industry, and energy. If the water stopped flowing for even a few hours, everything from hospitals to subway systems would just freeze up. It's the one thing that makes living in such high density actually possible.
Okay. Hmm.
Totally. Think about the sheer madness of city plumbing. Thousands of miles of pipes buried under concrete, all just to make sure you can turn a knob and get a glass of water in 2 seconds. Kind of a miracle we don't just find a giant lake in the middle of the street every other Tuesday.
Okay. Why were many ancient civilizations built near rivers?
Like the transcription is playing tricks on us again. But I'm guessing you're asking why they built their cities right on the riverbanks?
None of this enough.
Fair enough. Whenever you're ready with the next one.
What role does water play? Does water play in agriculture?
It's kind of a classic case of the tool breaking the system. We're basically using a blunt instrument for a delicate job. A lot of agriculture still relies on flood irrigation, where we just pour water over a field and hope for the best, which wastes a huge amount to evaporation. Then there's the runoff problem, where all the fertilizers get washed into rivers, creating those dead zones I mentioned earlier. We're essentially draining our underground aquifers faster than the rain can refill them. What else do you have on your list?
Okay. How does a lack of water affect food production?
Wait, food addiction?
Production.
I suspect that's a weird one. I'm guessing the transcription might be tripping us up again. Did you mean something else?
Okay, I'm repeating. Uh, how
No
does a
worries at
lack
all. Happens to the best.
How does a lack of water affect food production?
I think that the transcript is acting up again. I suspect you might be asking how water affects food production. If so, it's the entire backbone of the system. Without a steady water supply, crops fail, livestock suffers, and the whole supply chain collapses. It's the difference between a harvest and a famine.
Okay.
Just drowns out all the noise. It's like the world is finally taking a collective deep breath.
What role does rain play in the Earth's ecosystem?
It's essentially the Earth's global thermostat. Without it, the interior of most continents would just be salt flats and dust. It moves water from the oceans back to the land, which feeds everything from the smallest moss to the biggest forests. Beyond just the hydration, it also helps regulate the temperature of the whole planet by moving heat around. It's basically the pulse of the entire ecosystem.
Okay. Why are oceans important for maintaining Earth's climate?
They really are. It's the ultimate balance act. Too little, and you've got a drought. Too much, and it's a flood. But right in the middle is the only reason we have a habitable planet. It's basically the Earth's way of making sure no one region gets all the good stuff.
Okay. What would happen if all the oceans suddenly disappeared?
The world would be unrecognizable. First off, we'd have these deep, barren canyons where the oceans used to be, and you'd probably see every shipwreck in history just sitting there in the dust. But the real catastrophe would be the heat. The oceans act like a massive heat sink for the planet. So without them, the temperature would skyrocket until the lands become scorched and uninhabitable. Within a few years, the plants would die off, and since there'd be no ocean water evaporating into clouds, it would stop raining entirely. We'd be living on a giant airless rock, essentially becoming a desert version of Mars.
Why are glaciers important sources of fresh water?
Because they're basically Earth's frozen water towers. They lock up the vast majority of the world's fresh water in ice, holding
Okay.
onto it for thousands of years. Then they release it slowly as they melt. Wait, I just realized we're basically doing a masterclass in water today, which means they provide a steady stream of water to rivers and people even when it's not raining. It's kind of like the planet's long term savings account. Ready for the next one?
Okay. What happens when glaciers melt too quickly?
It's a chain reaction that starts at the poles and ends in our living rooms. The first thing that happens is the water has to go somewhere. So it flows into the oceans, which pushes the sea level up. For us, that means coastal cities start seeing sunny day flooding where the tide just comes up into the street for no reason. But it's not just about the flooding, it's about the loss of that savings account I mentioned. Once those glaciers are gone, the rivers they feed dry up, which is a nightmare for the millions of people who rely on that meltwater for drinking and farming.
Okay, Maya, thank you so much for giving me your time. See you next time. Bye.
You are so welcome. This was such a fun deep dive. Good luck with your work. Talk soon. Bye.